That night, the bedroom was bathed in the pale blue moonlight shining through the window. Everything seemed so peaceful, yet the cold air carried an indescribable feeling of unease. He lay on the bed, eyes wide open, trying to close them, but he just couldn't. His heart was pounding because in the corner of the room, a dark figure was standing motionless. But what made him freeze was those bright eyes that didn't seem to belong to the human world, only staring at him. At first, he tried to calm down, telling himself it was probably just a person who had entered his room by mistake. But suddenly, he felt a cold, bony hand slide out from under the bed and lightly touch his whole body. Froze. His throat closed up. He couldn't scream. He wanted to move, to run away, but it was as if an invisible force was holding him down, pinning him to the bed. Outside the window, a shadowy figure appeared. It was a thin figure, motionless, as if silently observing the scene in the room. A wave of goosebumps covered his skin. It seemed that the entire house was surrounded by these invisible entities, and he was just a captive prey. The cold moonlight shone in, illuminating his pale face. His eyes were bloodshot from many sleepless nights, and in that terrifying moment, he suddenly understood. The sleepless nights were not because of illness or anxiety, nor was it because of the noise or the uncomfortable bed. It was because there was something real in this room with him, something that was toying with him, watching him, waiting for him to fall asleep, so it could do who knows what to him. He struggled to get up, but his limbs felt heavy as if filled with lead. Panic surged through him. Was he going crazy? Was this some kind of nightmare? Why was he the only one who couldn't sleep? What did those eyes want? Then he noticed something even more horrifying. The eyes in the corner of the room were not reflected in the mirror. He turned his head slowly, his gaze fixed on the mirror, his heart pounding like a drum. The eyes stared back at him, cold and emotionless. They seemed to pierce through him, reading his every fear, every suppressed scream. In the corner of the mirror, a dark figure stood behind him, its eyes gleaming with a sinister light. A low growl echoed in the room, sending chills down his spine. Was it real, or was it all in his mind? He wanted to call out, to beg for help, but his voice was trapped inside him, a prisoner in his own body. His mind raced, desperately seeking an escape, a way out of this terrifying situation. The figure in the mirror moved, taking a step closer, its eyes never leaving his. He wanted to scream, to break free from the paralysis that held him, but he couldn't. Then, as if in slow motion, he saw the figure in the mirror raise a hand. It was a skeletal hand, bony fingers like hooks reaching out to him. Fear turned to ice in his veins. With a Herculean effort, he finally managed to turn his head. his eyes pleading for mercy. The figure in the mirror was now standing right behind him, its eyes boring into his skull. A strangled cry escaped his lips as the hand in the mirror reached out, its icy fingers curling around his neck. He thrashed, trying to free himself from the unseen grip that held him, but it was no use. The moonlight streamed in, painting the room in hues of silver and shadow. In that stark light, he saw the figure in the mirror lean closer, its face inches from his. Its eyes glowed with an eerie light, and for a horrifying moment, he saw not a human face, but something monstrous, something that should not exist.